Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Excitech BIM 360 surgery. This morning it is number 27, and today I'm going to take a little look at some of the new Submittal updates. So they launched about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm going to take you through and have a look at what the changes are in the Submittal process. So I'm in my usual BIM 360 surgery project. I'm going to select project home and I'm going to click into project management. So in here is where we can access the submittal tab, and you can see we've got RFIs, submittals and meeting preview. So if I jump straight into submittals, so this is where we can actually submit a request for information to other people for various different bits and pieces. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is there is a new control for the settings on this page. So this sort of exists in lots of other little pages, but you can see over to the right hand side we have a settings cog, and we can now control and reorder the information that we see. So if I don't want to see, let's say, package, I can just tick it off and you can see it updates the screen, and then you can see when you scroll down I may also want to look at, let's say, if there's a revision, take that off, and then I may want to look at things like the manager, the reviewer, responsible contractor, a required date. So you can see that you can do that, or you can also just click reset and it resets it back to the default out of the box. So I'm going to say that I want a required date and I don't need to see package or revision. And it's as simple as that. Just click the settings and then you can reorder and change. The next thing is that when we create a new submittal, there's a few extra bits and pieces that we can look at. So if I go create new item, so I choose my spec sections. I'm going to say this is an environmental subsection 5, and I'm going to go, this is a ground investigation. You can add in the ground investigation details or description if you wish. I'm going to choose a type and I'm going to say that this needs to be a sample, and I'm assigning it to myself. And I'm going to say the due date is now on the 20th of March. And I can then, as usual, choose a priority. So I'm going to say this is normal priority, and I can attach whatever information I want. The new thing now is this tracking section. So I can now put in an actual required date. So the due date is the 20th. So I'm going to say I want this back to me on the 18th, because I then may have to approve it. So I'm going to say I want the report approved on the 20th, and then it's actually required on the job site on the 20th. So we've got lots more tracking options. We also have the ability to put in lead days from the initiation time if we wish. So you can see you've just got a lot more control. So we click create, and that will create our new ground investigation submittal. If we click the settings, we can now scroll down and you can see that we have these extra options which we can now put on. So we can say the required date, the approval date and the job site date. You can see then we've got a lot more control of how we can start to track this information on this particular project. So another new thing is the ability that if you are a project admin or the creator of the submittal, that you can go to project admin, look at the submittal section, and if you were added as a manager, you have the ability to submit, review and close packages. But what you also have, if we click back into project management and go to submittals, is that when you click into one, you now have the ability to edit the submittal after it's been done. So I can click in and edit any one of these values, change it, change the priority to high, and then close it down, and it will then update accordingly. So a really nice feature that if you're the admin, you can go in and just edit any issues that you may need to do. So The next thing I want to look at is we now have the ability also to export this out into an Excel report. So we always had the PDF one. Now we have an option for Excel. So if we click it, it will then prepare the item for download. Let's save it to the desktop. Click Save. Click into it, and there we have this information then exported out into an Excel format. So you can see once we enable the editing, so the information comes through exactly what we see on our screen. We've got all the columns, lead times, approval dates, distribution list, reviewers. You can see you just expand each of these. And there we go. So really nice, just a really nice extra feature if you want to take it out into the Excel format. So that's the major updates that have been done on the desktop version. Now there has been a substantial update to the mobile version. I'm not going to plug in my mobile and change the screen and all this on this presentation. I'm just going to go to the release notes, and you can see that. So now submittals are now available on your mobile device, so both iOS and Android devices. They're available at the bottom of the screen, so you have a little 3 dots. If you click that into more, then you get the submittal menu. And basically all the approved submittal items are instantly available to your project team, and submittals that are in progress are only available to those that are involved in that submittal process. So you can basically just tap on the item details, download the documents for offline viewing, and then in the iOS version you can then use the filters by status, due date, assignee, spec section and tab. So really nice feature that you can now, the iOS app and the Android app are getting a little bit more powerful, particularly in around the submittal workflow, that we can now access them and update, change, review, and then download any documentation. So I get these release notes from the release notes page. If you search BIM 360 release notes, you will see that they do release the notes for every new update. You see this was January 2020, the submittal updates, and then they do document pretty well what's changing. So we've got the mobile, we've got the editing and closing of submittal packages, the date tracking, the exporting, and then we've got the improved filters. So a pretty short surgery this week. Just a thought, it was just quite a nice little short one to update you guys on what's new in submittals. So that's pretty much me for today. Join me again next week where I will be doing another live 360 surgery.